disturbing and dangerous doxing that could put the lives of ICE agents at risk. Flyers are popping up across Los Angeles, posting the names, photos, and phone numbers of agents who are working in the area. Activists also interfering with operations by using bullhorns to warn potential targets of ICE's presence during raids. Also not helping, the Democrats who are saying stuff like this.
If you look at the food that's on your table, think about who picked it. If you look at your homes, think about who built them. If you look at your vulnerable elders and your kids, think about who's taking care of them.
What do you think of that, Greg?
Let me think. They have flyers popping all over. They all look well produced, much like the signs that were behind Pramila while she was talking. You've got bullhorns. I mean, it's interesting. These groups are so spontaneous. How are they able to pull this off? Follow the money. None of this is spontaneous. So this is my theory. We're seeing perhaps the biggest difference between the Trump phenomenon and the current state of the Democratic liberal political world. One is spontaneous, operating in the moment, and the other one is manufactured and choreographed, like a boy band's dance routine. In the spontaneous moment, like when you see Trump doing stuff or talking or Elon Musk, it's nearly impossible to be deceptive. You know, we know this when we're doing the show. All of a sudden, when you go off the cuff, everything out of your mouth is what you feel.
Yeah.
It's just like blah, 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 blah. But if you have to read something off the teleprompter, chances are you're lying through your teeth, Jesse. But you can't be fake if it's happening in real time. The Democratic Party has no spontaneity. And think about it. How could they the last 4 years? The Biden White House was the opposite of spontaneous. You couldn't be spontaneous with him. You had to move him around like he was a wax figure and make sure, and you had to have everything planned out. So that's how the party is now. We are living in a time where one side is completely spontaneous and the other side is just a kind of like a deceptively designed machine that is trying to match their assumptions with hoaxes. And this is why when you see these protests, or these town halls, the loudest voices are the activists because they are there to push this lie. Normal people, they don't feel that strongly about, you know, trying to preserve corruption.
Judge, what kind of laws are they breaking by, one, alerting them or putting up these flyers or doxing the agents?
Yeah. And I have the statutes, but I think the most important thing that people need to understand is that these activists are not civil rights activists. They are nothing more than a pawn in the cartel's game to destroy this country. And, you know, if that isn't enough to convince you not to do it, how about the statute? 18 U.S.C. 119, 18 U.S.C. 114 makes it very clear that restricted personnel's information and doxing of that individual, whether by home address, mobile phone number, personal email, anything like that, being released with the intent and knowledge that that restricted personal information will be used to threaten, intimidate, or incite the commission of violence, or a member on that person or a member of his family, is not only a crime of which they can be fined, but they can serve 5 years. All right. And the statute makes it very clear under a recent case called People Against Banhoff that ICE agents are specifically covered. So the Department of Justice has got to, number one, find out and prosecute these people because they are the ones who are causing the terrorization of American citizens and of federal employees who are should be protected when they're performing.
So that would be done
duties
by a U.S. attorney appointed by President Trump,
Yes.
not by the local DA.
No, these are federal statutes.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Jesse, the other thing is Tom Homan reported that ICE arrested nearly 90 illegals during this raid in Liberty County, Texas, and it included the arrest of multiple child sex predators and murderers. So why would you want them to stay?
No, I can't believe people are protesting this. And I would throw the book at these people. If you're telling someone where an ICE agent lives, you know who his wife looks like, you know where his children go to school, the cartels are going to take that information and they're going to use it. So these people, to me, this is not a protest. This is endangering the lives of law enforcement officers. I'm with the judge. I'm also with Greg. It's again, such a brilliant point.
Thank you.
It's such a shockingly brilliant point.
Oh.
When you talk about the left and the right, so the left is all top-down command and control. They get talking points and everybody sticks to the script. That's why when they talk, they don't sound spontaneous.
Yes.
They're just regurgitating talking points. It looks inauthentic and it turns people off. Now, the right, no one tells you what to say. No one tells me what to say. No one on podcasts or on the radio. Everyone's independently minded. So that attracts people because it's authentic and it galvanizes the grassroots. It's like in the Ukraine war. That's why the Ukrainians did so well initially, because each of those platoon commanders were able to make their own decisions in the battlefield, whereas the Russians, they didn't do anything until some guy in Moscow, some general, told them what to do. That's how it happens in war. Same thing with information warfare.
Harold, is this another area where a Democrat could say, wait, this is wrong, what's happening in Los Angeles? Like you could feel compassion for people
Anybody
that are
breaking
in a
the
different
law
situation, but murderers and sex
Anybody
predators?
breaking the law in this regard should go to jail. I think the statute that the judge referenced, 18 U.S.C. 119 and 114, they should be enforced. And I'm always a believer that when you endanger a public official and you think about the sensitive work these people are doing, there's no excuse. Second, Congress and the Senate right now are debating, the Republicans are, about giving Mr. Holman all the money that he's requesting. The Republicans are going to have a big vote on that floor tonight. We'll see what happens. The Senate thinks about it differently. I'm hopeful that they're able to come together quickly because the money is needed. President, I agree with him, and I've said that Tom Holman sometimes looks like Clint Eastwood, but I agree with what he's trying to do. And he needs the resources to do it. Finally, hopefully we come to this issue at some point. I'm not sure how I feel, and we can have a debate about it, but whether you give rich people gold cards and you give other people green cards, I'm just not sure I like that. There are a lot of poor people, a lot of working people who came here from other countries who turn out to kick butt and make our country a better place. I just don't know if I want to give it to a bunch of entitled people, gold cards to come into the country. But that's for another day.
It requires that they invest in this country, and that's the difference.
They still shouldn't get it. I'm still not sure they should get
That's
an
how
advantage.
you go and live in Europe.
I'm still not sure you
Yeah,
should get
that's
the
what
advantage.
European countries
Well, somebody that wants to
require.
come here and work their tail off and play by the rules too should have an opportunity
If you
as
come
well.
here legally, I have no problem. But if you're not invited and you come here, you don't deserve to be here.
So if rich people who are not citizens want to come and invest, you're okay with that. But
If
a
they
poor
wanna
guy wants to
put
come in.
if they want to put that kind of money in the country and risk it, then they can come
So
here.
the answer to my question is yes. I
The
disagree with
answer
you.
to your question is if you want to invest in America and prove you believe in this country and you're willing to suffer for it as opposed to sucking
Someone
it
that
dry,
comes-
that's the
someone that
difference.
comes and picks things and paints things and
You've got to have
fixes
the
things.
ability to support yourself and sustain yourself, Harold.
Well, look, you're for
And
the
not-
rich. But say it. You're for the
I'm
rich.
not for the rich.
I like the rich,
My
but I'm
family
for the
didn't
working
come
guy.
here rich, but they came here legally and they worked their tail
You know
off.
what? You got the green card there, not a gold card.
All right, up next, Brandon Johnson might be giving Lori Lightfoot a run for her money as Chicago's worst mayor. Wait till you see his numbers.